Hi YouTube, I'm TOOFU here and I am back with another video. Today we are going to be covering 6 things that I wish I knew as a new FiGPiN collector. I wanted to make this video because it's been a little bit more than a year since I've started collecting these, and I remember when I first started collecting, I was enjoying them. I really liked collecting them just for the pins, but then there was this whole other side to FiGPiN collecting that I didn't really know about. I thought it would be helpful to know these tips and tricks when I was first starting off in collecting. I wanted to make this video for any potential new collectors who might come across my channel so that you can have some helpful tips and tricks for when you're collecting so that you don't overspend or you don't miss any drops and things like that. I wanted to put a quick disclaimer out that I am not in any way trying to tell you how to collect FiGPiNs. I'm not trying to tell you what to buy, what not to buy, and I'm not trying to tell you how much to spend. This is all just advice that I think is helpful. You could do whatever you want. These are just things that I wish I had known when I first started collecting, and hopefully some of these are helpful resources for you as well. So if you're interested in this video, then like the video and subscribe and keep on watching. So number one thing is there's an app and I'm pretty sure most of you already know that there is an app that comes with FiGPiN. One thing that I did not know though is how different collecting becomes when you start using the app. So when I bought my first FiGPiN, I knew that there was an app because the packaging says that there's an app, but I was just never interested in using it because I didn't think that it was a big deal, or I didn't really know what it was, and I didn't think that I needed to use it. And you don't need to use it, but it does open up a whole other world of collecting when you do use the app. So if you don't know what the app is, it's basically a complementary component with your pins. So if you've noticed on the back of your pin, there's a serial number. If you enter that serial number into the app, then you can find out all these different stats about your app. It'll tell you what line off the factory it was made, how many of that pin was made, and if you want to know more details about the app, definitely check out my FiGPiN app breakdown. I have an entire playlist on all the different components of the app, so definitely check that out. But I just wanted to encourage any new collectors to download the FiGPiN app because it does keep track of your collection pretty well, and you can organize your pins, you can see them all on your phone, and it's definitely a really fun component of collecting. A lot of people collect pins for their different stats. A lot of collectors only collect first edition pins. There's just so much information about the app, so I just highly suggest that you download it. It'll definitely make the collecting experience a lot more fun and very interesting. The second tip that I wanted to give is to subscribe to monitors. Monitors track new releases, and so whenever FiGPiN or another FiGPiN retailer drops new products on their website, then the monitor will automatically alert you. The ones that I'm talking about are on Discord primarily. There is the regxr, I don't know how to pronounce that. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a Discord server, and it's completely free. You just join that Discord server and then they notify you on all these different drops that are happening. They have it for other collectibles too. They have it for Funko, Loungefly, Pokemon, there's so many things. And so I would highly suggest joining that Discord because then you won't miss any drops, because it is pretty difficult to catch a drop and sometimes things sell out pretty quickly, and so I would suggest signing up for that. There's also the FiGPiN Fans Discord. That server also has monitors that are inside that server that are specifically for FiGPiN, and so they have all these different retailers. There's FiGPiN Official's website, and then there's Pins on Fire, Tag'em, 3FI Space, Hatchers. There's so many different retailers, and that Discord tracks all of it, and so make sure to check that out as well. I'm gonna link everything down below so that you guys kind of just have easy access to everything that I'm talking about in this video. FiGPiN does tend to do surprise drops, and so if you're not really signed up for their email or their email comes in late, these monitors will help not delay that, and so you'll be able to find the drop right away and pick it up right away just in case something sells out quickly. So yeah, I think it's a really helpful tip, and I haven't missed a single drop since I've signed up for the monitors and joined the Discord servers, so it's very helpful. The third thing that I wanted to touch on is the FiGPiN database website. There's a website called FiGPiNDB.com. I will also link that down below, but it is a phenomenal website. When I first started collecting, I was just looking for a single place where I could find every single FiGPiN that's ever been created and all the information, and all of that lives in FiGPiNDB.com. It shows every single FiGPiN ever made. It shows their run size. It shows how many editions were made. It shows whether that pin is cohorted or not. It shows different tags on the FiGPiNs, whether it's a hard to find pin or if it's a 2-pack, if it's a box set. it has so much information, and it's like all things FiGPiN, and it has all these resources, and it has an unlock calendar on there as well. So definitely check that website out because it's a huge resource for FiGPiN collectors. If you're looking for just a way to see if you've completed an entire line, like let's say that I was trying to complete the My Hero Academia line, right? I can just search up My Hero Academia in that database, and then it'll show you every single FiGPiN from My Hero Academia that's been made or been released. It shows their status and everything. So it's a very helpful website, and I suggest that you look at that because when I first started collecting, I did not know it existed till like a few months in, and it's a really great resource, so definitely don't miss out on that. My fourth tip is a little bit more of a suggestion, but not really like a this is what you need to know kind of thing. But I highly suggest buying limited edition or surprise drop releases, even if you don't collect the line. So let me explain. When FiGPiN releases a limited edition pin or a FiGPiN exclusive or a surprise drop, some of them tend to be very popular and they sell out quickly, and the prices kind of jump in value after they're all sold out, and then the price just keeps climbing, and then eventually you just don't have it in your collection if you wanted it. So this is an experience that kind of happened to me. When I first started collecting, there was a surprise drop on Hawks from My Hero Academia. It was a glitter Hawks, like his wings were glitter. It's such a gorgeous pin. At the time, I didn't collect My Hero Academia, so I decided not to pick it up. But now he's at $80 to $100, and I can't really justify picking one up unless I trade for it, because now I watch My Hero Academia and I wanted the Hawks, and I regretted not picking it up, and now it's sold out. Anyways, my point to the story is even if you don't collect the line, I suggest picking up some of the more popular drops that happen, because you can always use it to trade in the future. Like for example, recently there was a glitter Rengoku drop. Even if you don't watch Demon Slayer, you know that that's a really popular pin that a lot of people have been anticipating, and it sold out really quickly. So if you're able to pick it up, then I suggest that you do pick it up, because later down the line there may be a pin that you haven't been able to get, and you might be able to trade that glitter Rengoku for something down the line. I'm not saying like everyone has to pick up every single drop that FiGPiN makes, but I do think that it's a pretty good idea to pick up some popular pins so that you can use it for trading in the future. And also because the pins tend to become more popular in the future, and because they're all sold out, the market value goes way up, and then it gets too expensive to buy sometimes. So I just suggest like picking it up if you can. So my fifth tip is to be familiar with FiGPiN's run types. The reason why I say this is because it kind of helps you gauge better whether you should hold off on buying a pin or whether you should buy it sooner. The ones that I think you should really be familiar with are commons, retailer exclusives, FiGPiN exclusives, and limited edition. Those are the main run types that FiGPiN has, and all of this information is on their website as well. I'll link it down below so you can find it easily. Let's start with the commons. Commons are basically FiGPiNs that you can find anywhere. You can find them on the shelves of Walmart, you can find them at specialty retailers, you can find it on FiGPiN.com. Commons are always going to be reprinted if they run out of stock. So if you're trying to buy commons, don't worry too much about missing out on them, because they are commons. They'll always be there, so you don't really have to worry about missing out on commons. The next run type is retailer exclusives. These are pins that you can only buy from the retailer that the pin is exclusive to. So for example, there's Walmart exclusives that you can only get from Walmart, there's Target exclusives that you can only get from Target, there's GameStop exclusives, there's Pins on Fire exclusives, there's Tag'em exclusives. So there's a lot of specialty retailers that sell FiGPiNs as well, and a lot of them do have their own exclusive FiGPiNs, and so you can only buy that exclusive from that retailer. If you want a retailer exclusive, I don't think you should worry too much about not being able to get it, because they are still easier to get and they can keep printing them as well. So you don't really have to worry about retailer exclusives, but I do suggest looking at all of them and looking at the ones that are available on FiGPiNDB.com, because there are so many different retailer exclusives that I think are really amazing, and I think they're really worth picking up. The next run type is limited edition pins. Limited edition pins are pins that are not going to be sold on FiGPiN.com directly. They're going to be distributed to specialty retailers, and only specialty retailers will sell limited edition pins for the first 90 days that that pin gets released. And then if these retailers don't sell the limited edition stock in those 90 days, all that remaining stock goes back to FiGPiN.com, and then you can buy it from FiGPiN.com. So limited edition pins do not get made again. They only ever make make one edition of that pin and then they won't make any more. And so if there is a limited edition pin that you want, definitely pick it up. Limited edition pins are a little bit harder to get because they are distributed among multiple retailers. What I would suggest when that pin drops is to pick the retailer that you want to buy from and then just try to buy it right when the pin releases, because if you wait a little too long, then the pin will go out of stock and then you're scrambling to find another retailer that sells it, and then that one might go out of stock. So it definitely gets a little bit difficult. Start with one retailer that you know you want to buy from. A lot of them do promos for their limited editions, and then if you can't buy it from them, then look for another retailer to buy from. And then the last run type is FiGPiN exclusives. So these are pins that can only be found on FiGPiN.com. So FiGPiN exclusives are more limited, but they are still able to reprint them. It's not as likely. A lot of FiGPiN exclusives tend to be surprise drops. Sometimes we'll have a full wave of pins and then one of them will be a FiGPiN exclusive. Definitely check out the FiGPiN exclusives. They have an entire category of them on their website. I think FiGPiN exclusives are definitely worth checking out because they tend to be the popular characters that people like, and so they are in higher demand. So yeah, I would suggest picking up FiGPiN exclusives when you can. So those are all the run types that you should be familiar with. Hopefully that helps you in your decisions to buy certain pins and when to hold off and all of that. So yeah, those are the run types. Tip number 6 is to be familiar with FiGPiN's announcement/drop schedule. Quick disclaimer though, this is not always accurate. Sometimes their schedule changes based on cons or different announcements that happen, so it's not always going to be like this. But the general rule of thumb is that FiGPiN will normally announce their new drop on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then that following Wednesday is when that announced pin or pins will drop on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time on FiGPiN.com or wherever. So what will happen is on Thursday at 10 a.m., FiGPiN will release a blog on their website that shows what the next week's drop is gonna be. Definitely read the blog because it has all the information that you need to know about the pins. It tells you if it's a pre-order or if it's in stock. It'll also tell you when the pin goes live because sometimes it might not always be on a Wednesday. It could be in 2 weeks time or something like that. So definitely check out the blog, and it also gives pretty pictures of what the pins look like, and so you can make a better decision on whether you want to pick it up or not. The following Wednesday is when they will normally drop the pin. That's very, very tentative. It's not like super consistent. I think they try to stick to the schedule, but sometimes things get thrown off if a con is coming up. Definitely take this piece of advice with a grain of salt, but that's normally how FiGPiN does it. So hopefully that will help you understand better when pins do get released and when new lineups are announced. I'm always looking forward to Thursday mornings because I want to know what next week's announcement is, and it's a lot of fun when you're part of a community and everyone gets excited over an announcement. So that's something to keep in mind, is their quote-unquote like regular release schedule. It's a cadence that I think is worth getting used to because then it kind of gives you an expectation or something to look forward to so that you don't miss something by accident. If there's a surprise drop on FiGPiN, then a lot of the times it will be on a Thursday or Wednesday. And if there was no announcement that week, there could be a surprise drop. These are all kind of things to keep in mind so that you can kind of expect what's coming. So it's a lot of fun and definitely a good tip to know. So I think that's everything. That is all the tips that I wanted to give for you guys today. And if there's anything else that you want me to cover, or if there's anything else that I might have missed, definitely comment below because I love hearing feedback about my videos. Thank you so much if you've been watching and you've made it this far. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and definitely subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!